Shalom, shalom. First off, giving our honor, glory, and praise to the Most High God, Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh. Battle Axes of the Most High coming at you with another Thursday night class, man. Another turned up Thursdays, man. Shalom, brother Jose, first person in the chat, man. Go saying first off, giving our honor, glory, and praise to the Most High God, Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, man. You know, giving the respect due to the captains, to the officers, and to the soldiers out here pushing this troop, man, knowing that at any given time, we could lose our lives for this thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Going through this been rough 2 months for me. Can't speak on everybody else's behalf. Shalom, brother Moses. Shalom, brother Capt. Can't speak on everybody else's behalf, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's been a rough 2 months for me, deaths in the family, and all types of things. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord's still giving me the courage to push through and keep making these classes and do the work, man. Putting our hands to the plow, man. You know what I'm saying? And today's class, I wanted to talk about some of the wicked attributes of idolatry, man. Because, you know, this world is ran based off of, man, I want to say God's laws, statutes, and commandments because it's true. God's laws, statutes, and commandments rule the world. You know what I'm saying? God's laws, statutes, and commandments rule the world. Either you keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments, or you're doing what? The opposite of God's laws, statutes, and commandments, man. And idolatry is one of the biggest issues that we had in Israel, you know what I'm saying? Even today, idolatry can go into money, video games, cars, clothes, shoes. I know a lot of brothers and sisters that like cars, clothes, shoes, houses, and thinking that money is gonna get you, you know, everything that you want. Like money buys happiness, man. Money do not buy happiness in this month, man. You know what I'm saying? And one of my biggest things, I like to play video games. I like to hop on Madden. I especially be on 2K, 2K25. I know some brothers up in this mud like to play 2K and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Or like to play video games and something like that, you know what I'm saying? But that's my biggest, you know what I'm saying, issue right there. All the hours and the time that I could have put in reading, studying, going hard in this troop, I've been slacking off, playing 2K, playing Madden, playing shoot games, all types of stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's where the majority of my time go to when I could be giving at least half that time to the Lord, you know what I'm saying? I can say that I've been trying to read, I've been trying to, you know, precept upon precept. I've been listening to better music, you know what I'm saying? Trying to listen to straight Israelite Hebrew music, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, I can tell, you know, the more and longer that I've been in this truth, I can also tell that when I'm like, let's say I'm reading, right, and I see a precept, I like for my precepts to match up with my storyline. I like for the stories to match with the history. I like the prophecies, man. You know what I'm saying? I like for them things to come together. If you get in the context of this verse and you get in the context of that verse, I want both of them contexts to line up now. You know what I'm saying? The longer and the more I grow in this truth, I'm starting to see these things. So the class of today is the wicked attributes of idolatry, man. Because idolatry does have wicked attributes. It's just trying to let brothers and sisters get in this mud. So we're going to head and start this thing off at Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7, right? Shalom, if I missed y'all, whoever in the chat, man. Shalom to you, brothers and sisters, man. But let's get to it, man. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, and verse 7. It says, remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. So the Lord tell us, don't forget about the days of old, right? This class is based off of stuff that done happened in our past that has gotten us messed up a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? That we have to observe and take heed on. One of the biggest words in the Bible, as I say this every single time, the biggest word in the Bible is observe, man. It's in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. It's in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. And why are those two verses important? Because it goes into the blessings and the curses that will come upon our people, man. We have to remember the days of old, right? But we also have to observe. Observe what happened when our forefathers kept the commandments. Observe what happened when they didn't keep the commandments. Look at what the punishments was and the judgments that the Most High God brought upon the children of Israel when we did not keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. And look at what the blessings were when we kept the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments and did everything in order according to what the Lord had said do, right? So, shalom, Specklebird. So we'll read it again. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, and verse 7. It says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee. Meaning when it say ask thy fathers, and it will tell thee, right? It will shew, and they will shew thee, and thy elders, they will tell thee, right? They will tell thee, right? It's talk about the words in this Bible, man. The words that came from our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The words that came from our forefathers, Ezra, Nehemiah, King David, King Solomon. They was literally giving us hints and examples on how we should conduct ourselves in the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. So let's go ahead and get another one, right? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, and verse 16, right? Saying the exact same thing. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, and verse 16. Thus said the Lord, stand ye in the ways, and see, and as for the old paths, where is the good way? And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. Because this is what a lot of brothers and sisters are doing nowadays. The scriptures literally telling you, seek the old paths. Ask the Lord for the old paths. Pray for the old paths. Ask for the Lord to bestow upon you the old spirits that our ancient forefathers have had that kept them in a righteous estate, in a righteous mentality, right? Because that's what it's all about. Righteousness. Where is your mind at? That's like 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. Examining yourself every single day. I see myself, okay, I look at myself day by day. How am I doing this? Right? I start my day off. I get ready, I go to work. Once I make it to the car and by myself, first thing I do, I give the Lord my time to precept. Sometimes I go in here and I start precepting, or I try and read something. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I'm trying to start doing. Giving the Lord my first. He deserves the beginning of my day. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I start trying to do, right? So what? Let's go ahead. I ain't gonna overtalk that thing. Let's go ahead and read this thing. We're gonna read down, right? The book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and verse 6. 116. We can read 16 again. It says, thus said the Lord, stand ye in the way and see, and ask for the old path. Where is the good way? Like I was saying, I'm starting to give my first to the Lord, right? I'm starting to give my all to the Lord. But it then I'll give, okay, I put like, let's say I'm in First Chronicles today, right? I read from First Chronicles chapter 10 all the way to 17, right? So I put, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I read a good enough amount for today. You know what I'm saying? Going into the history of King David and what was going on and the people who King David was around, about him going through the Ark of the Covenant, right? So now I'm starting to see, like, boom, me just giving my all and my first to the Lord, trying to establish these good ways that the Lord is talking about, and asking for these old paths. Dear Lord, give me a spirit of righteousness. Give me a righteous mindset. Give me a manly and godly mindset, right? These things, once you start asking for these things, boom, you start to see more of a pattern of good works. You know what I'm saying? And then let's say you go a day or two without fasting. That shit vanished just like that. It vanishes. Cause the Lord wants you to pray to him every single day. Bro, then you'll get that spirit that creep up on you and say, man, I don't want to pray today. I don't want this. You know what I'm saying? That's what, excuse me, Shalakia, brothers and sisters. But that's what this scripture is talking about. It says, but they said, it says, and ye shall find rest for your souls, right? But they said, we will not walk therein. They allow that sneaky little spirit to come up on brothers and sisters and say, and allow that really just allow that sneaky little spirit to creep up and overtake their lives, man. It's just like Genesis chapter 4 and verse 7. It says, if you do well, he told Cain, if you do well, then what? Shall you not be accepted? But if thou doest not well, it says sin lieth at the door. It says, and to him he shall rule over you. You don't want Satan to rule over you, man. So as soon as you get them negative and wicked thoughts, what we gotta do? Rebuke them things. How shall I rebuke them things? Matthew chapter 4 and verse 4. Going to the scriptures, man. Going to the scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? It's always a spirit that come out of nowhere that be like, oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, I don't want to do that. That's a slothful spirit. That's a slothful spirit. That's not also a slothful spirit, but it's a spirit. It lets you know off the bat. If you thinking this like in your mind, if you're literally thinking it in your mind, that's a spirit. If it's not coming out your mouth, because you can pay attention to the fact that the Hamashiach said to himself, which we really finna go over in Matthew chapter 15 and verse 18, where he was talking about defiling your temple. You know what I'm saying? What defiles you is what you speak out your mouth. Why? Because your mouth and your words are like a heavy, heavy force. You know what I'm saying? So let's read on. Let's see what the Lord says, right? Because remember, let's keep this in mind. It says, also I will say, it says, but they said we will not walk therein, right? So let's read verse 17. It says, I will also I will set watchmen over you, saying, hearken unto the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken. So you got brothers and sisters blowing the trumpet every single day. How? By being an example. That's being a trumpet blower right there. Sisters might not even be able to teach. Sisters might not be able to teach, but they see you walking around in modesty, and you got your hair wrap on, you got your scarf on, excuse me. You got your hair wrap on, you got your scarf on, you being an example, you're not too loud, you're not, being you're basically not overdoing it, right? You're not overdoing it. Then they see the men walking around, got their pants pulled up, pants ain't hanging all half off they behind. You know what I'm saying? Fringes on, fringes swinging and banging. The way he talked, he got proper etiquette. You know what I'm saying? Boom. We are being leaders. Just those little things are like trumpets blowing. Then they come over there and ask you, hey man, I see you wearing these fringes or these fringes or dangly things, or you know what I'm saying, or him or whatever they call it. What do they represent? Boom. That's a watchman. And even if you can even go into stopping a brother or sister from going a certain way. It can even, I'm talking about just by classes. Classes alone could speak on the behalf of the things that you going through. You know what I'm saying? All these things are trumpets. The trumpet is constantly being blown at this very moment. I remember when I first came to the Battle Axes, they had classes 6 days a week besides Tuesday. I went to every class. I was trying to be at every class. You can ask anybody. You can ask Razatok. You can ask Barakah. You can ask Capt Benaniyah, Captain Jerubbaal. I was trying to be at every class when I first came into this truth. You know what I'm saying? Now we don't do it at the building no more. You know what I'm saying? But just to say that this is the type of zeal that I want to get back. This is the type of zeal that I want brothers and sisters to have. You know what I'm saying? So it says we will not hearken, right? A lot of brothers and sisters not gonna hearken. That class be calling. You know what I'm saying? We got classes 7 days a week now. These classes be calling. They'll see the class. I'm out here and play the video game. I'm finna go ahead and keep doing it. Man, that class be calling. That might be the same class that you need to get back on your feet. Or, matter of fact, it's been times where a scripture hit me before something happened, or a class hit me before something happened, and that same exact spirit pop up. Lately, I've been writing classes, and when I'm writing my classes and stuff like that, I see that Shalom. I see that captains and them touching on the class that I already brought up. I mean that I'm writing on. You know what I'm saying? I'm writing on. I probably done made a whole class, and then captains and them touching on that subject. I'm like, man, that's just how the spirit moves. That's the same thing as that sound of the trumpet that's being blown. Hey, you in the spirit because this class that you writing on, it's the same class that he bring out the next day. And then the same thing, the same spirit that rolled throughout the week. You know what I'm saying? Then I heard Barakah touching on the class. Then I heard you know what I'm saying, Capt Benaniyah. Then I heard Capt Jerubbaal. Then you know what I'm saying? I started hearing it, and then I'll be like, dang. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, should I even do this class? It's how, that's just the sound of the trumpet. Because somebody out there hearing these words, and then either you going to say, you will not hearken, or you going to hearken in this thing, right? So the scriptures continually tell us to what? Seek for the old past, right? Or listen to the sound of the trumpet, right? Let's read on. Jeremiah chapter 6, in verse 18, it says, therefore hear, ye nations, and know, O congregation, what is among them. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my law, but rejected it. So now, once you start rejecting the law, statutes, and commandments, you rejecting classes, you rejecting this, you rejecting that, the Lord starts to send these things upon you. Evil thoughts. Proverbs chapter 16. No, that ain't it. Boy, it's just 5 precept. Let me find this mug real quick. I know where is it. Hold on. Dang. But it's a 5 precept, bro. I got to get this mug real quick. The book of Proverbs, chapter 16, and verse 3. It says, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established, man. Man, this scripture hits so hard, because once you start committing your work, how do you commit your works to the Lord? You might think about it. I might not have a congregation to go to right now. I might not have, you know what I'm saying, certain money to put in. How do you put in? Shoot. All you gotta do, grab a mop, grab a broom, sweep something up, stack up some water, put some water in the refrigerator, clean out the toilet, clean out this. Brothers and sisters that don't have what's the name, congregation, or around the building or something like that. How else do you put in your works so that your thoughts can be established? Sharing this truth, constantly pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Constantly. All right, I'm gonna look at this class. I'm finna post it. I'm finna put a precept on it, and then I'm finna boom. That's how you see all down my Instagram. I'm talking about nothing but precepts, man. Nothing but precepts, man. Right? Yeah, shalom, brothers and sisters that's coming in, man. But the thing about it is, once you start, the thing about it is what we trying to get away from is rejecting the knowledge of the laws, statutes, and commandments, man. So we start bringing up, it says, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts. The fruit of your thoughts, I do not want wickedness on my mind, period. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, that's why I'm trying to get myself, I'm just trying to get myself in the right state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Even though I've been going through what I've been going through, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? You listen to these classes, guess what? You still got a chance to get these wicked thoughts off your mind. You still got a chance to what? Make it to the kingdom, to endure all the way into the end, man. You still got a chance. And I'm gonna go ahead and start the beginning of this class, right? So this is what we're supposed to be doing, seeking the old ways. In this precept, these precepts, you know what I'm saying? Jeremiah 16 through 18 through 19 and Deuteronomy 32 and 7. We're gonna literally go over the history of what King Ahab actually did. But first, we're gonna go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and we're gonna start at verse 8. We're not gonna read this whole thing, but Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, I'm pretty sure some brothers and sisters have read it. It goes into some of the attributes that idolatry actually brings. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna start off with Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and let's start at verse 8, right? Yeah, let's start at verse 8, right? The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and verse 8. It says, "But that which is made with hands is cursed." So you can automatically tell it's going into idolatry, right? It says, "But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well as he that made it. He, because he made it, it because being corruptible, it was called God." So a lot of these items, that people made with their own hands is seen as a god. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. We have to shake that thing. I'm talking about I feel like I be playing the game too much sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Trying to shake this spirit, man. I had to make this class, and them classes don't just go towards everybody. Like I tell everybody every time, these classes be for me sometimes. These classes be really based off of me. You know what I'm saying? On how the spirit go. You know what I'm saying? So it says, let's read on. Verse 9. It says, "For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto God," right? So the thing about it is, a lot of people say God loves the sin. Hates the sin, but loves the sinner. In what way or point or fashion do that make sense? That don't make sense at all. When you read these things, this thing just plainly, this thing specifically told you, for the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto God. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the Apocrypha is so important. these 14 books that was taken out of the scriptures is so important because it has scriptures in here like this. Not saying that the regular King James Version no, but it has scriptures like this. It has history. This is the wisdom of Solomon. The wisdom of Solomon. You know how much wisdom Solomon had? Above all, ain't no king or person surpassed the wisdom that Solomon had. That was according to what the Most High God said. And if the wisdom of Solomon is telling you that the ungodly and his ungodliness are hateful unto God, how much more sin? You know what I'm saying? Let's read on. Verse 10. It says, for that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. So what? Let's go to the book of Sirach chapter 12 and verse 6 real quick. Just to get a, you know what I'm saying? This is basically saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Just to get another precept on that thing, man. The book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12 and verse 6. For the Most High hated sinners and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment, man. Literally saying the same exact thing. That's a good ass precept. If y'all want to precept them things together, I already got it. So let's go back to the book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and let's start at verse 11 this time, right? I think that's where I'm kind of I'm gonna read down to like 14, right? Then we're gonna jump down, right? So it says, therefore, even the book of the book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and verse 11. It says, therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of God they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the soul of men, into a snare to the feet of the unwise, right? So we see that these idols are starting to become a snare to the what? To the feet of the unwise. Who is the unwise? The people that's not having the law, statutes, and commandments. Who's law, statutes, and commandments given to? The Israelites. Let's get another precept on it. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 14 and let's start at verse 1. Right? Let's see what the Most High God told us to do with these idols, right? The book of Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 1. Then came certain of the elders of Israel unto me and sat before me. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, these men have set up their idols in their heart. So this is what we do today. I'm finna go over here. I'm finna do woo. I'm finna get this money. Yup. Bro, that money becoming an idol to you now, bro. You know what I'm saying? So this money that's starting to become an idol to you. You set that up instead of setting up the Most High God, right? Let's read on. Excuse me. It says, and put the stumbling block of iniquity before their faces. So now you're starting to do anything to get this money. This is how you know something is becoming an idol to you, right? You start to put the stumbling block of iniquity before your face. You start to, I'm talking about the stuff that you stumbling over, you putting it before your face. Constantly. I'm finna go out here and try to get this money. I'm finna go out here and try to get this. I'm finna go out here and try to get that. I'm finna go. Now it's starting to become a repetitive cycle. You know what I'm saying? When you start repeatedly doing something, you know what I'm saying? That's how you know it's starting to become an idol. You know what I'm saying? Unless you put the Most High God first. Because I know brothers and sisters have hobbies. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Not to sit up here and be like, oh, my bad. I'm overlooking at these people. But not to say that, you know, these the hobbies and stuff that you have are idols and stuff like that. The Most High God know we got things that we like to do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, just try giving the Lord your first. Me. This is what I'm working on, giving the Lord my first. At least let me read before I do anything today. You know what I'm saying? Let me read, let me precept before I do anything today. I go down, and then I know myself. I go down my Facebook anyway, and when I go down my Facebook, what I start doing is I start seeing posts, Donald Trump talking about he trying to take over Gaza, and I put that Amos chapter 1 and verse 6 on that thing, right? Then I scroll up talking about Al Green. Al Green, he talking about he wanna impeach Trump. Then I see that they trying to they trying to what are they trying to do to the Hispanics? They trying to put them back over there in Mexico and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? What is it called? What's that word called? They call it a word, right? So, but anyway, I see that thing happening. And then I'm like, man, what the Jacob trouble precepts? You know what I'm saying? That's blowing the trumpet. I do this all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Constantly. I'm constantly if I'm on my Instagram or I'm on my Facebook, Shalaki. If I'm on my Instagram, I'm on my Facebook, what I do? I sit up here, I go, I see this white Caesar boy. I scroll up on my Facebook. I see this white Caesar boy Zaya. I go in there. I already got my stuff. I already typed out, and I got it at the top. I pinned it at the top of my copy list, and I copy and paste that mud and put it on there. So I'll be like, man, this is the damn devil. Man, hey, you black, Hispanics, and Native, man, hey, y'all the Israelites according to the Bible. We got to come back to God's law, statutes, and commandments. That's how I do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm already knowing what I'm gonna do. I'm always constantly, if I'm on social media, I'm scrolling up through some reels and I'm laughing. Then next thing you know, here go this soft ass man with trying to portray this image as our king, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they trying to deport. Thank you, brother Moses. Thank you, brother Moses. You know what I'm saying? This is the last Trump icon. Sure, it might be. See, we see all this other stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? This is the last thing we need to do. Be fighting amongst our brothers, man. I seen, bro. Shout out to Sakari and them too, cause I seen them brothers out there, fringes swinging and banging with the Mexico. But I'm talking about Judites, man, out there with their brothers swinging and banging with the Mexico. What's the name on their stuff? I mean, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Not all them people is our people. Some of them people over there is Spaniards. You know what I'm saying? You gotta ask that thing. Is what you with the Mayans or the Aztecs? What you with? You know what I'm saying? So, man, and Shalaki, let me get back to this class too, man. But like I was saying, we start putting these things in front of us. Well, like the scripture was saying, we start putting these things in front of us, and they start to becoming a stumbling block, right? So let's jump. Let's read verse 4, right? Or did I read that? Yeah. Let's read verse 4. It says, therefore, the book of Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 4 for brothers and sisters who don't know where we at. It says, therefore speak unto them and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, every man of the house of Israel that set up his idol in his heart or put it the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face and cometh to the prophet, I the Lord will answer him, that cometh according to the multitude of his idols. Right? So the Lord's going to start answering you now. How is the Lord going to start answering you? With plagues, with different type. It might be different types of diseases, different types of sicknesses, right? And then all these things, you start wondering why all these things are happening. It's because you set some type of idol before the Most High God, right? Let's read on. It says that I might take the house of Israel in their own heart, because they are all estranged from me through their idols. King Solomon was a prime example, showing you that being with certain women. You know what I'm saying? We put women as idols. You know what I'm saying? Certain men do put women as idols. Some women do put men as idols. Like, that's the only thing that matters. You know what I'm saying? And through these things, we get so caught up that we be like, man, you know what I'm saying? When am I going to give my time to the Lord? You know what I'm saying? So let's read on. Verse 6. It says, therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, repent and turn yourselves from your idols, and turn away your faces from all your abominations. Man. These are abominations to the Most High God. When you set something up before Him, that thing becomes an abomination. Man. You know what I'm saying? So let's read verse 7. When we're going to start right there. It says, for every one of the house of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourneth in Israel, which separated himself from me, and set up his idol in his heart, and put a stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and cometh to a prophet to inquire of him concerning me, I, the Lord, will answer him by myself, man. So the Lord is going to start answering, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, it was classes that used to, you know what I'm saying? I probably done messed up. I go watch a class. That same class, cutting the shit out of me. I'm talking about, excuse my language, but cutting the dog crap out of me, you know what I'm saying? It's been times like that, you know what I'm saying? Where the Lord, He'll answer you through another brother class, and then next thing you know, all hell start breaking loose. Literally, that thing happens, man. And this is the thing that we want to try and prevent brothers and sisters from going through, right? So let's go back to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and let's start at verse 12, right? The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 12 says, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them was the corruption and the invention of them, the corruption of life, right? So the beginning of spiritual fornication was what? The devising of idols. Idols was the beginning, right? So let's go to the book of, let's see. All right, let's see what can make you incorrupt, right? Let's see what makes us incorrupt, right? Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6. We'll just start at verse 17. Get straight to the point. But the context is going into wisdom in this chapter, right? The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the cares of discipline is love. So we know what love is. 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3, the keeping of God's commandments, right? It says the very true beginning of wisdom is the desire of discipline. Man, and that's what we got to start doing. Disciplining ourselves to start reading more. Disciplining ourselves to start pushing this truth, right? Disciplining ourselves to keep going even though we down on hard time. To shake that wicked spirit that I don't want to do with spirit. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters coming in. Right? Let's read on. Verse 18. And love is the keeping of her laws. See? Everything leads back up to keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. It says, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. Now, we seen that idols, right? When you start to constantly put something before the Most High, it becomes an idol. So now, we see giving heed unto the laws is the assurance of incorruption, right? And putting it in that idol is something that is a corrupt thing, right? And it starts to corrupt you, right? So let's read on, right? The giving heed to the laws of the Most High God, or to the laws of wisdom, which is the same thing, is the assurance of incorruption, right? Let's see, read verse 19. It says, in incorruption maketh us near unto God, right? So this incorruption While we keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments, it makes us nearer to the Most High God. And that's how we supposed to be, right? Let's read on. This is the last verse, verse 20. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bring it to a kingdom, man. And what did Christ tell us to do? Seek ye first the kingdom, that all these other things may be added unto you, right? So all the other things that you want, think about it. What did King David do? What did Abraham do? What did Isaac do? What did Jacob do? Follow the laws and the commandments that the Most High God was giving to them. The instructions that they was given, they followed those things, right? And we can read that real quick in the prayer of Manasseh. We can read the prayer of Manasseh real quick. We're gonna jump down on the first line all the way to like the fourth, like little, I can't even explain it, but I'm gonna just read this, right? It says, "O Lord, that art the God of the just, has not appointed repentance to the just, as to Abraham and to Isaac and Jacob, which have not sinned against thee, but thou hast appointed repentance unto me, that am a sinner." So we see that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob has not sinned against the law, statutes, and commandments that the Most High God gave, man. Right? So, knowing these things, we should understand that what? These are righteous examples. Let's follow after the foot of our forefathers, right? Let's read, let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14. And let's start back at verse 13, right? So the book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and verse 13. It says, "For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever." So these idols ain't gonna last forever. Anything on this earth is not gonna last forever, man. Including this flesh. The flesh is going, all this stuff is going to the grave. It's the spirit that matters, man. It's about these laws, statutes, and commandments. These are the things that was established that the Most High God said that was gonna make us immortal. How do we know that? We can go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter, I believe chapter 1. Let me see. Right? 1 in verse 15, right? It says, "For the book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 15. For righteousness is immortal." What's righteousness? Deuteronomy 6 and 25. Righteousness is the keeping of the commandments of God. These laws, statutes, and commandments are immortal. So like it was saying in verse 13, it says, Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 13, it says, "For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever, for by the vain glory of men they entered into the world," right? "And therefore shall they come shortly to an end." So all these idols and stuff that they done set up, all the Catholic, these things are like idols. Catholicism, Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, all these things are like idols, man. And they have something to do with idols, man. Because if you, Catholicism, they like the Virgin Mary, right? But there's not even a real damn Virgin Mary. The Virgin Mary was black. The Virgin Mary was black. That's an idol. So the thing about it is, look, bro, come on now. Come on now. If we know Christ was black, and we looking at the big old white statue, I'm looking at the, but is this, you know what I'm saying? Bro, when I'm talking about, I scroll through my Instagram or my Facebook. Even on YouTube, they're my main three things. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, just to try and get a good laugh for the day. Bro, I scrolled through this thing. You know how many times I had to switch. I'm talking about because I would just get vexed of seeing this white goddamn Christ, this pale, redneck, blue-eyed devil all through on everything, man. He's on everything. Aquatium. This don't make sense. I'm sick of seeing this. I'm talking about sick of seeing this doggone devil portrayed as our king, man. That's an idol. And when you read down from Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14, verse 14, all the way down, it's talking about how they did exactly and raised up this white image. You know what I'm saying? This is what helped me kill that white Christ shit. Like this is what helped me kill that white Christ stuff, bro. Right here, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14, all the way down. Bro, when you read that thing, I promise you, get at me when you read it too. And I'm going to see which one of y'all brothers and sisters that read that mud too, because when I come to my class next time, I'm going to ask y'all. Who read the book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14? Didn't I tell you it was going into that Caesar boy jail? It literally was going into Caesar boy jail. Literally. Sibo. Shalak. It's literally going into Sibo. Caesar boy, that white pale Christ that y'all be trying to call Christ. It's not Christ. Shalaki, that's my damn dog. Let's jump down, right? Let's jump down. Well, actually, let's go to the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 18, because this is how much that they push this thing, bro. This pale Christ. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 18. They pushed it so much, and this is why it goes so perfectly with Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 13 all the way down. It says, the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 18, what profited graven image that the maker thereof had graven it? First and foremost, it says, what profited the graven image? What profited the graven image that the maker thereof had graven it? Who had graven this image of Caesar Borgia? Leonardo da Vinci, his gay lover. What profit is there in it? It says, the molten image in a teacher of lies. They have made statues out of this thing, right? And it's a teacher of lies. That's not what Christ looks like, right? It says that the maker thereof, Shalaki, that the maker thereof, what is it? That the maker of his work trusted therein, and make it dumb idols, to make dumb idols. Now, they done set this fool up to be a dumb idol. With this a dead man. And I really didn't want to touch back, but we're going to touch on that thing. Verse 19, it says, woe unto him that said unto the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach. To the wood, awake. What is people walking around with on their neck? A cross. Right? We gon' it says, to the dumb stone, awake, it shall teach. People walk around with gemstones and stuff around on their necks, man. Green and red and all this type of stuff. This is what this is going into. Let's see what else it says, right? The Kaaba, that wood going into the cross, that stone also going into the Kaaba stone. All these things around us ain't nothing but wood and stone, man. And let's see what they do. It says, behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it. It's worthless. It's worthless, man. I'm tired of seeing the fake God too. I'm reading what you were saying, Speckle Bird. But I'm tired of seeing this fake God too, man. But they laying this gold cross. They're supposed to be a wooden stick over with gold and silver. Come on now. This going into these exact same that fake Jesus chain. That fake, or what is it called? A pendulum. A pendulum or a pendulum. Whatever the thing, I don't even wear them. So the pendulums. They make Jesus, that white image of Jesus, and they put it on a chain. You ain't never seen no black image of Christ on no chain. Never. You ain't never seen it because they don't want that information to get out there to let y'all know who the real Christ is. They don't want you to know that that's just a dang idol that y'all serve. Right? Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14. Let's jump down, right? And let's jump down. Let's just read 15 and 17, right? The book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and verse 15. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, excuse me, Shalaki. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he had made an image of his child soon taken away, now honor him as a God, which is then a dead man. Caesar Borgia is dead. Let him be dead. It says, now honor him as a God, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. So now, Caesar Borgia's birthday was on December 21st, right? Ceremonies and sacrifices. What do we sacrifice? Now you gotta eat. It's a feast day to eat on this wicked Christmas thing. Now it's a feast day. How the heck is it Jesus' birthday and Christmas? It don't make sense. So let's jump down to verse 17 real quick. It says, whom men could not honor in his presence because they dwelt afar off, right? So they can't even come to his grave. Matter of fact, let's read 16, 17. It says, thus in process of time an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law. So now it's a law to keep Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these bull crap holidays and pagan days that they trying to get us to keep, right? Is now kept as a law. Engraven images were worshipped by the commandments of the kings, right? These graven images are pushed throughout the four corners of the earth. You got Moab, Ammon, Chinese, Japanese, Africans believing. Everybody believed that Yahweh Shah was white, man. Come on now. Verse 17. It says, whom men cannot honor in presence because they dwelt afar off, meaning he in the grave. It says they took the counterfeit of his visage from far and made an express image of a king whom they honored to the end that by his forwardness they might flatter him that was absent as if he were present. This man is absent. But they making these graven images like he present. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's jump down to the verse 22, right? Let's start at verse 22, right? Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and verse 22. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God, but whereas they lived in a great war of ignorance. Bro, they warned against this thing. They living in a great war of ignorance, bro. They warned against this thing. They trying to make everybody ignorant to the fact that Yahweh Shah was black. They trying to make everybody ignorant to the fact that all these things that's around us ain't nothing but idols, man. When you put these things in front of the Most High God or over the Most High God, man. Because the Most High God know where your heart is at, right? It says, those so great plagues they call pleas. And these things are plagues. Was it not a plague that in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64, when the Lord said we was going to serve other gods? Are these not curses? It's a curse. That is a plague. Because what does a plague do? A plague spreads. A plague can spread from one person and it's contagious. It can spread from one person to the next. You worshiping this false god and this false idol. Then next thing you know, here go your children. Your children ain't doing nothing but that, right? Let's read on. Verse 23. It says, for while as they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange sights. Now think about what it said. It says, for while as they slew their children in sacrifices. First off, who was doing this? The Jewish people. Do you not know when they discovered in that Jewish temple over there in what was that? In Jerusalem, in that Jewish temple, when they went over there in that Jewish temple, they discovered that they was in there with baby sheets and blood all over the place and dead women and stuff like that. This is exactly what these shalom, sis. This is exactly what these doggone Edomite Amalek over there doing, sacrificing babies and children. It says, or use ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites. Made parties of strange rites. What is that? Parties of strange? Think about these secret ceremonies and parties of strange rites. Diddy is the biggest thing going out right now. Diddy is the biggest thing going out right now. Diddy ain't doing nothing but following these strange old Amalek, these strange old Jewish people, man. They not Jews, man. What the heck? Come on now, bro. Verse 14, it says, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled. Meaning they just starting to defile their marriages. We know for a dang fact that what? Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 3, which we gonna get later on, because it's going into the story of Ahab. And we know for a fact, it says what? They kept neither lives nor strange it says Shalaki. They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled. They was defiling themselves with the other nations. The children of Israel is steady starting to try and defile themselves with the other nations, man. Right? It says, but either one slew another treacherously, traitorously, or grieve him by adultery. These things are the attributes. These are just the beginning attributes of what? Idol worshiping. Because you see that the nations are doing it. And now it's spreading to you like a disease. Now you want to do it. It's just like what I can always, the primary example. What do police have? Police had a Crown Vic. Then next thing you know, Negroes wanted a Crown Vic. What did the police get? Charges? Expeditions? Now Negroes want charges and expeditions and stuff. You got to think about this thing, fam. He said, those so great plagues they call peace. Well, these are the number one things that's killing our people. They said, because guess what? We didn't have drugs in our neighborhood. They seen the white man getting high. Guess what? Black men want to get high too. So now they spreading it through our community like a plague. Now, next thing you know, everybody's smoking. What else everybody doing? Everybody popping pills. Everybody shipping lean. These things spreading like plagues, man. Good precepts, man. Good precepts, man. But these things are spreading like a disease, like a plague, right? To the point where we sacrificing our children. I'd rather, you know what I'm saying, like instead of letting my baby, sacrificing your children can go into, instead of letting my baby eat, I'm finna go buy this damn weed, man. I'm finna go buy this damn dope. right? Or you know what I'm saying? These things, man, don't make sense. Let's read verse 24, right? It says, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, right? But either one slew the other treacherously. Israelites killing Israelites, blacks killing blacks, Hispanics killing Hispanics, natives killing natives, black versus Hispanic, black versus, you know what I'm saying? Look at all these things that they starting to push, right? I had a preset right there. Look at the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 1. Let me just pull that one. Go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 1. Is that what that is? No, Shalaki. Ezra, Shalaki. Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1, Shalaki. All right, let's go to the book of Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1, right? It says, now these things were done. The princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the peoples of the land, from the peoples of the lands, doing according to their abominations, saying the same thing. It says, even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites, for they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons, right? So that the Holy See and mingle themselves with the people of those lands. Yeah, the hand of the princes and rulers had been chief in the in this trespass. So now, since we over here, when we over here with these people, instead of separating ourselves from these people, what are they doing in America? What are we doing in America? The children of Israel are mixing and mingling the seed. Our bloodline is royal. Everything about us is royalty. Everything about us is literally royal. But we mixing the holy seed with these dogs. Then you don't even go get the best looking dog. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I seen I'll be looking. Sometimes I'll be looking at white chicks, man. The best looking kind out of them is still ugly than a mug. Like the best ones of the dang Edomites is still ugly in the mug. Like I can't even make this up. But we're gonna take this, we're gonna let's read on let's go back to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, man. Cause it says 14 verse 24 says they neither kept their lives nor marriages any longer, but either slew one another treacherously, man. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 7 and verse 2. Isaiah chapter 7 and verse number 2, man. It says, and it was told the house of David, saying, Syria is confederate with Ephraim. Right? It says, and his heart was moved in the heart of his people, as the trees of the wood are moved with the wind. Let's jump down. Verse 5. It says, because Syria, Ephraim, and the son of Remaliah have taken evil counsel against thee, saying, let us go up against Judah. They're saying the same thing that's going on in the book of Wisdom of Solomon. These things were happening. We have to go through, search through these precepts to show that our people was literally going through the same thing that we doing right now. How did it hit? We going against our own kind. We going to go be police officers and all this other type of stuff to go against our own kind. The only time where I would probably say it's okay is because it's a black on black fucking violent thing, man. Excuse my language. But it's a black on black violent or a Hispanic on Hispanic. It was two Hispanics, they were having a shootout. Yeah, go stop they behind. But if you see a action to where it's a white versus Mexican or what, bro, whose side is you taking? You already see what they do to our people as soon as the police make it there. Who the first person in handcuffs? The first person in handcuffs is the black man. It don't make sense, Akim. It don't make sense, Akim. We always using the heathen to try and go. I'm gonna read this out. Cause I'm getting heated. Verse 6, the book of Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 6. Let us go up against Judah and vex it, and let us make a breach therein for us, and set a king in the midst of it, even the son of Tibiel. So we see the same things that we doing now is the same thing that's going back happening that was happening back then. Shalaki. Let's go back to the book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14, and let's start at verse 25. Right? It says, so that there reign in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury. My goodness. Look at just by worshiping the idol. Just because we know one thing, first thing first, when you start mingling amongst these nations, start being amongst these nations too long, you do what? You look at their women. Women look at their men. Y'all get married. Then here come the idols. The Lord already had established what was going to happen in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 3. That was the order. He knew what type of order we was going to be moving in on this stuff from. Right? So, let's look at some of the attributes again. So, there reign in all men without exception blood, manslaughter. This is what happened in the book of First Maccabees. He started, all people should be one. That's the order. All people should be one. Then what else happened? If you don't keep these commandments, if you don't keep the commandments of the king, you were commanded to be killed. The same stuff that's going on now today. When they first enslaved our people, let's look at the natives. When they enslaved the natives, what happened? You have to become a Christian now. You have to become a Christian now. Same thing that happened to the Hispanics. Oh, you have to become a Catholic now. Then if you didn't, they made one man be an example, and they burnt him alive or hung him on a tree. That's what it said. The first thing was blood and manslaughter. It says then it was theft. What did they come over here and start doing? Taking the land. And then look at it's our people. Our people what is our people doing now? They stealing. Why you ain't stealing from the white man that got everything? You stealing from your own brother that barely just got a chain or a necklace trying to make himself look good because he probably ain't had nothing all his life. And he want to feel and want to be like somebody, man. But here you go stealing from your brother. What else it says? In dissimulations, right? Dissimulations going into... Can't read it. Dang, I can't read it. But we'll skip that. But it's going into then it goes into corruption. Going to dissimulation, then it goes into corruption, then it goes into unfaithfulness, What is faith? Let's go see what faith is according to what the scriptures say. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 12. How would you preach it? The book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 12. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love. So once you start fearing the Lord, that's the beginning of the Lord's love. Right? It says, in faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him. So you know you have faith when in every situation you start praying to the Most High God. You start cleaving to his words and start reading. Every time you have a problem. That's what faith is, cleaving unto the Lord. Let's go back. So we read here in verse 25, Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 25, that unfaithfulness, it says one of the attributes of basically in the sin of idolatry is unfaithfulness. Let's read on from that unfaithfulness, right? It says tumults. What in the world? I'm talking about, has it not been tumults? Every time we on the street, it's a goddamn black, Hispanic, or Native Indian taking up the side of the doggone white man. Then we up here at camp trying to feed the sheep and bid the sheep back to the marriage. Then here come Esau. Esau, your ass the devil the Bible speaks of, and you gonna go into captivity for all the crimes and the atrocities that you paid for doing this to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Oh, bro, y'all tripping, bro. Y'all tripping. Man, they teaching hate. Man, that ain't love. That ain't love, bro. God is love. Come on now. This is what idolatry brings. What is all these people say? What do everybody think Christ is? A white man. Idolatry. That's the first thing we had to shape. We got to shape because that's the first thing that we went into, especially in the book of Judges. Matter of fact, we ain't even got the first thing we went into. What was the first? I'm gonna ask brothers and sisters real quick. I'm gonna see if brothers and sisters know this. What was the first idol besides Adam and Eve? What was the first sin we did as a nation of people? As a nation of people, what was like the first thing that we did when we messed up with the Most High God? The golden calf. I got it on point. That was the first thing we did. As soon as we get delivered out of Egypt, the first thing we did was go and celebrate and worship a golden calf. Period. Well, yeah, Cain and Abel, yes, sis. Yeah, Cain and Abel, because that's one of the first things that was, think about it. But that's why I said before Adam and Eve. Remember what the scripture says, sis. Queen Empress, watch this. We're going to jump back over real quick. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and verse 12. It says, for the devising of idol was the beginning of spiritual fornication. In the invention of them, the corruption of life. We're going to, hold on. Let's read. We're going to read verse 27 and jump back up to 26, right? Real quick, watch this. The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 27. For the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning. Watch this. The beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. Just the worshiping of idols was the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. That thing tough. And it make you wonder, what was Adam and Eve doing for them to get? Because you really think they ate from a tree? They ate an apple from a tree and we eat apples every single day? Come on now, make it make sense. Apples are supposed to be good for you. Make it make sense. You really think they ate from a tree? It was understanding. The Lord said many a times, eat this raw. The Lord said many a times, drink this living water. Come on now. And trees are also a nation of people. You're right. You're right about that. I think that's in the book of Jeremiah too. The trees are also living people. So it wasn't just Adam and Eve in the beginning in the Garden of Eden. You know what I'm saying? Those are just some things to talk about, but we're not going to get on that topic. We're going to stay right here. Let's go back up to verse 26. Because think about it, man. We got to go back up to 26. It says, disquieting of good men. Meaning the worrying of good men. And we going to touch on that thing. The worrying of good men. Right? The worrying of good men. It's like, let's go to the book of Acts chapter 7 verse 51 real quick. I'm going to just bring that out. This is what we're going to bring. Yeah, Acts 7 and 51. Watch this. I'm going to let somebody deal with that some other time, sis. We're going to stay on top. The book of Acts chapter 7 and verse 51. Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ear, ye do always resist the Holy Ghost as your fathers did, so do ye. Which of the prophets have your fathers not persecuted? The blood. One of the first things about idol worshiping, right? Which of your fathers have you not persecuted? Killed, slaughtered, manslaughter. It says, and they have slain them with shoot before the coming of the just one. So the people that was prophesying about Christ, they was steady trying to kill him, man. Prophesying about how he gonna come and tell us to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. It says, of whom ye have now been the betrayers and murderers. Of all them prophets that done talked about keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments, man. All them prophets. Watch this. It says, who have received the law by the disposition of angels and have not kept it. Don't you think these people was worried? Our forefathers was worried. Is we going to get Israel back on track? Is we going to get Israel to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments? Come on now. You don't think that's the quieting of good men? You don't think that's the disquieting of good men? Heck, sure, our man was worried, man. Our forefathers was worried. Our forefathers was worried in a mug. They really had to lose their lives because of our hard-headed, stiff-necked behinds, bro. Let's read on from Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and verse 26. So it says, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good terms. They didn't care to do the things that was right. They was robbing and stealing and murdering each other. It says defiling of souls. This is what I wanted to get to. Matthew chapter 15 and verse 18. Defiling of souls. Let's see how you defile your soul. The book of Matthew chapter 15 and verse 18. But those things which proceeded out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. So whatever enters into your heart and comes out your mouth, that's what's defiling you. If these wicked things, let's see what some of the attributes are, right? For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders. It starts to proceed when you start getting them evil thoughts. Now you getting them murders. Now you getting adulteries. And we know that just by looking and lusting after a woman, or a man, you can commit adultery. From what Christ said in Matthew 5 and 28, it says fornication. Now you think about fornication. Now you talk about the one to fornicate with a sister. It said, or a brother. It says thefts. The same thing. These are literally the same exact precepts that we was just going over. If you can see that thing or not, these are the same exact in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 25, 26. These are the exact same things, but these are the same things that defile your mind, defile a man. It says fornications, thefts, false witnesses, blasphemies. It says these are the things which defile a man, but to eat with unwashed hands defile not a man. Because the Jews was like, why are they not taking up after why is the disciples not taking after the tradition of the elders by washing their hands? He like, Negro, that don't defile you. All these murders, these envying thoughts against your brother, sleep with another man's wife, thinking about all these things and then speaking on them things and then acting it out. That's what's defiling you. Let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and let's start at verse 26 again. It says, disquieting of good men, meaning the good men, they weary. It says, forgetfulness of good terms, forgetting how to love your brother. Just as one example, it says defiling of souls, changing of kind. Changing of kind could go into so many things. These, excuse my language, these fools are literally telling children that they can dog on. I'm talking about these, that they can be cats, that they can be dogs. One person say you want a tree. One want to be a tree. One person want to marry a tree. One person say they want to do the transgender thing. All these things are going into this one verse, this one line right here, changing of kind. It says, what else it says? Disorder in marriages. Well, women don't have respect for a husband. Well, man don't have respect for his wife. Not trying to get the full understanding of what your rib is talking about. Not trying to get the full understanding of what your husband is talking about. These are the things, are the disorders that's in marriage. It says, what else do it say? Let's see. Idolatry. We just talked about that. Shameless uncleanness. All these things. You don't think about it. A woman would think about the order that it went in. Changing of kind, disorder in marriage, adultery. Then it says shameless uncleanness. A woman don't even be shameful that she committed adultery no more. A man don't even be shameful that he committed adultery, man. They are shameless of these things. This is what, if Caesar Borgia was the true image of Christ, these things would have never took it back. These things would have never happened. But now that we coming back to the true Messiah, we coming back to the true Christ, we're not giving we ain't giving heed to these idols and stuff like that, right? You see brothers and sisters actually starting to change. And that's what the white man hates. He hate when we want to change and we want righteousness in the earth. He hates that thing. Let's read on. Read on. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and skip that. But verse 26, right? Verse 27. For the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil, right? Like I was saying, this is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. Once we start following and worshiping other gods and stuff like that, that was literally the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. The beginning of evil, man. And the cause of evil. We start following after that white Christ. All hell start breaking loose. Brothers start killing brothers. All these things we just named off is the exact same things that's going on in America now today. Right? What he asked, he said, will the prophets still be here teaching when the Lord returns? Now, no, we are not going to be teaching one another, but we will be teaching the other nations, basically. Hebrews 8:8 says when we go into that new covenant, that the laws is going to be embedded into our minds. And we wouldn't have to teach our neighbors anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's the main point. So if we teach it right now and brothers and sisters are still asking questions, we are not in the new covenant. Right? So, yeah, that is a good ass answer. I mean, a good ass question, though. But back to the class. It says in verse 28, right? It says, for either they are mad when they be merry, or prophesy lies, or live unjustly, or else lightly forswear themselves. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23. Go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23. Let's see what it says. Jeremiah, chapter 23, and verse 31. Right? Watch this, saying the exact same thing. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, and verse 31. Behold, I am against the prophets, said the Lord, that use their tongues and say, he said, behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams, man. He said he's against these people who was prophesying. Martin Luther King. I have a dream with white little girls and black little girls and white little boys and black little boys with whole hands and all this other type of crap. The white man's getting wiped off the face of the earth. Stop playing. And you know what else he said? Before he died, he led his people into a burning house. It said the Lord, and do tell them, and cause my people to err by their lies and by their lightning. Yet I sent them not, nor commanded them. Therefore they shall not profit this people at all, said the Lord. So this is what the people be saying. This is what the people be saying. When you read this clearly, it's talking about how is certain prophets out there that's going against the Israelites. It's certain Christian prophets. It's certain, not they ain't even prophets. It's certain Christian pastors is what I was trying to say. Christian pastors and stuff like that that's going against the Israelites, saying that, hey, we prophesying false dreams. They said we causing people to err by keeping the law, God's laws, statutes, and commandments. When Christ said that we was gonna Christ said that we was gonna the only way to the kingdom of heaven is by keeping the commandments. Right? It says, yeah, I have not sent them nor commanded them, therefore they shall not profit this people at all, said the Lord. So these people, by you doing all these things, saying, oh, I have a dream, and all this stuff, you're not gonna profit. You're not gonna profit. The Lord said he ain't even sent you. He ain't even finna send you. He ain't even sent you. These people, this is the same thing that this is saying. They prophesying lies. They swearing falsely. It says, let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and verse 28. For either they are mad when they be merry, or prophesy lies, or live unjustly. What is these Christian pastors doing? They prophesying lies and living unjustly. They're not keeping the commandments of God. What is just? Romans chapter 7 and verse 12, which I can really name off the top of my head. For the law is holy, the commandment holy, just and good. For the law is holy, and the commandment is holy, just in Romans chapter 7 and verse 12. Read that. It says, wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, just and good. The commandments is what's holy. The commandments is what's just. Right? Let's go back. Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 28. It says, for they are either bad when they are married, or prophesy lies, or live unjustly, or lightly forswear themselves. Right? Let's read on. It says, for in so much as their trust is in idols, which have no life, though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt. So they said they swear falsely, right? I ain't heard this man. I ain't heard a man say, but these people be swearing falsely in the mud. But this how you know a nigga swear falsely. They be like, boy, on Jesus Christ. But if you don't get silly ass, this man literally was like, on Jesus Christ. Bro, you know it's a damn lie. You putting it on this white Christ? Come on, man. You swearing on this white Christ? Come on now. Let's read on. It says, yet they look not to be hurt. You don't think it's a judgment for this thing? Come on now. It says, howbeit for both causes shall they be justly punished, both because they thought not well of God, giving heed unto idols, and also unjustly swore in deceit, despising holiness. So these people despise holiness, man. Despising the laws of God. Right? Verse 31, it says, for it is not the power of them by whom they swear, but it is the just vengeance of sinners that punisheth always the offense of the ungodly. The Lord is going to punish your behind if you don't get on one accord with his laws, statutes, and commandments, man. We got to keep fighting in this truth, man, to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. And we kind of at the end, but I'm going to kind of lightly touch on King Ahab real quick. I'm going to lightly kind of touch on King Ahab real quick. Go to 1 Kings chapter 16 and verse 30. Let's see what the first thing King Ahab did. Because I'm trying to tell you it's in the order. And we going to kind of just skim through it. The book of 1 Kings chapter 16 and verse 30. And Ahab the son of Omri did evil in the sight of the Lord above all that were before him. And it came to pass, as if it had not been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jerubbaal, idol worshiping, the son of Nebat, that he took to wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ithbaal, king of the Zidonians, and went and served Baal and worshiped him. Idol worshiping, the beginning of all evil. First of all, if y'all know who the Zidonians are, they derive from Canaan, and you can find it in the book of Genesis chapter 10 and verse 15. But that lets you know that this was a heathen. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Now let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 3, right? The book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 3, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor nor his son shall thou take unto thy son. Nor his daughter shall thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy you suddenly. So we see, and we're gonna read how the heart of Ahab was turned away from the Lord by him following after what Jezebel is doing. Literally going in the same order, going and doing exactly what Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 said. He worshiped and served Baal. This Canaanite, this is really a Canaanite, Baal was a Canaanite idol, right? Let's read on. And he reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. Now he built idols in the Lord's place, holy places, man, that he gave to the children of Israel. And Ahab made a grove, and Ahab did more to provoke the Lord God of Israel to anger than all the kings of Israel which were before him. in his days did Hiel, the Bethelite, build Jericho. He laid the foundation thereof in Iberium, his firstborn, and set up gates thereof, and his youngest son Segub, according to the word of the Lord which he spake by Joshua the son of Nun. So we're gonna jump over to chapter 18, and we're gonna start at verse 1. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 18 and verse 1. And it came to pass after many days that the word of the Lord came to Elijah the third year, saying, Go and shew thyself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. Because it was a famine in the land at this time, and the Lord was feeding Elijah with the ravens. The ravens was coming, bringing him bread and his meals and stuff like that. Right before he went to go stay with this woman. So, verse 2, it says, Elijah went to shew himself unto Ahab, and there was a sore famine in Samaria. So now, this is what it's talking about in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and verse 22, right? Where it was saying, those so great plagues call they peace. They living in plagues, and they calling this thing peace, where they living in famines, right? Sore famines, right? Verse 3, it says, Ahab called Obadiah, which was the governor of his house. Now Obadiah feared the Lord greatly, right? For it was so, when Jezebel cut off the prophets of the Lord, that Obadiah took 100 prophets and hid them by 50 in a cave and fed them with bread and water. So now Obadiah has to hide the prophets. The prophets are in fear. Disquieting of good men, right? Disquieting of good men, right? Let's jump down. See where I want to jump down to. Let's jump down to verse 21. Right? And I'm going to kind of skim through this. So this is when Obadiah and Elijah kind of met up, right? Obadiah and Elijah met up, and he was saying, and Obadiah was saying, so what you going to leave? If I bring King Ahab, what you going to leave? And when I go off and go get him, you going to leave so he can behead me? And Elijah was telling him, go ahead and go get him, right? Let's jump up to verse 18. The book of 1 Kings chapter 18 and verse 17. It says, and it came to pass when Ahab saw Elijah, that Ahab said unto him, art thou he that troubleth Israel? So now he's doing what? Prophesying false lies, swearing falsely. Now he's bringing false accusations on his brother. Because let's read on and see what Elijah said. And he answered, verse 18, and he answers, I have not troubled Israel, but thou, in thy father's house, in that ye have forsaken the commandments of the Lord, that thou hast followed Balaam. Come on, man. He's like, you're the one you the one who forsake the Lord. You're the one that's hindrance and what do you say? The one that's troubling Israel, bringing a sore famine upon the land. You're the one doing this stuff, man. Let's jump down to verse 21. Right? Well, let's read verse 19 so we get some understanding. It says, now therefore sin and gather to me all Israel unto Mount Carmel, and the prophets of Baal 450, in the prophets of the groves 400, which eat at Jezebel's table. So now you got all these prophets that serving and worshiping Baal, right? Verse 21, we're going to jump down. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, how long halt ye between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. Then said Elijah unto the people, I only remain a prophet of the Lord, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. Let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. And I will dress the other bullock, and lay it on wood, and put fire under. So he's giving them a challenge, right? Okay, let's test your God out against the God of Israel, right? Our God. Let's test our gods out. So let's jump down. Let's see what kind of happened. Verse 26. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered, and they leaped upon the altar which was made. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, cry aloud, for he is a God. Either he is talking or pursuing, or he is in a journey, or peradventure he sleepeth, it must be awake. And they cried aloud, and cut themselves after the manner with knives and lancets, till the blood gushed out upon them. He like, you a damn fool. Cry out to your God. Let's see if your God gonna come. It never did come. So let's go. Let's go down. Let's jump down. Verse 33. It says, and he put the wood in order, and cut the bullock in pieces, and laid him on the wood, and said, fill 4 barrels with water, and pour it into the burnt sacrifice, and on the wood. And he said, do it the second time. And they did it the second time. And he said, do it the third time. And they did it the third time. And the water ran out about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water. And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known this day that thou art the Lord God of it, that thou art God in Israel, and that I am thy servant, that I have done all these things at thy word. Hear me, O Lord, hear me, that this people may know that thou art the Lord God, and that thou hast turned their back again. And that thou hast turned their heart back again. Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the wood. And consumed the burnt sacrifice, in the wood, in the stones, in the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. So we got to recognize, man, the power of the Most High God. The fire fell down from heaven and licked up all that and consumed everything. Licked up the water, licked up the fire, the dust, everything, man. We got to put some respect on our Lord, man. Let's see what Elijah did, right? Let's read now. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces and said, the Lord, He is God. The Lord, he is God. And Elijah said unto them, take hold of the prophets of Baal, let not one of them escape. And they took them, and Elijah brought them down to the brook of Kishon and slew them there. So Elijah, he in the spirit, he's slaying the prophets of Baal, man. He's slaying the prophets of Baal, man. All right? Now that happened, let's go on and jump down to verse 19 and verse 1. Chapter 19 and verse 1. And we're just going to read about four verses down, right? The book of 1 Kings, chapter 19 and verse 1. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. So now Jezebel threatening the prophets. What do you think King Ahab is supposed to do? He was supposed to follow in the footsteps. We're supposed to follow in the footsteps that our forefathers followed in. What did King David do? Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 4, right? And the men of David said unto him, behold, the day of which the Lord said unto thee, behold, I will deliver thine enemy into thy hand, that thou mayest do it to him as it shall seem good unto thee. Then David arose and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe privately, and it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him, because he had cut off Saul's skirt. And he said unto him, he said unto his man, the Lord forbid that I should do this thing unto my master, the Lord's anointed, to stretch forth my hand against him, seeing he is the anointed of the Lord. So David stayed his servants with these words and suffered them not to rise against Saul, but Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. This is what he's supposed to do. This is what King Ahab is supposed to do by keeping the commandments of God. Right? Let's go back to chapter 19, 1 Kings chapter 19 and verse 1, verse 3. Let's see what he said. The book of 1 Kings chapter 19 and verse 3. And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life, and came to Beersheba, which belonged to Judah, and left his servant there. Right. So now he fleeing for his life. That's the disquieting of good men. That message shouldn't have even really got to Elijah, because Ahab should have checked that thing on point. Right. But he following after his wife. Verse 4. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die, and said, it is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. And when you read on down through this thing, it talks about how grieved he was and how jealous he was for they was killing the prophets. And he was the only one left. Right? So we see this thing is literally lined up with Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14. What happened is going on, the attributes that was taking place. You know what I'm saying? Let's start 1 Kings chapter 20. But I don't want to read all these goddamn. So 1 Kings chapter 20. Yet, so let's talk about. We're just gonna scan to it. This is talking about how King Ahab, right? King Ahab was getting besieged by Samaria, and they took the children and the women. I want to read it. Verse 5. Let's start at verse 5. The book of 1 Kings chapter 20 and verse 5. And the messengers came again and said, thus speaketh Benhadad, saying, although I am sent unto thee, saying, thou shalt deliver me thy silver and thy gold and thy wives and thy children. Yet I will send my servant unto thee tomorrow about this time, and they shall search thine house, and in the house of thy servants, and it shall be whatsoever is pleasing in thy eyes, they shall put it in their head and take it away. Then the king of Israel, which is Ahab, called all the elders of the land and said, Mark, I pray you, and see how this man seeketh mischief. For he sent unto me for my wives and for my children, and for my silver and for my gold, and I deny him not. So now he's giving them sacrifices. That's basically what he's doing. He's sacrificing his children so that he can live. That was the same thing that they were saying right here. In Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14, in verse 23. Taking the children, slaying the children. You don't know what he gonna do with your children. We know what happened when we got to America, right? That's another example. Let's jump over to chapter 21, right? Let's see what we're gonna pull from here. Cause I don't want to pull everything. I just don't want to pull everything. So this is where King Ahab, right, wanted a piece of land, right? Let's start at verse 2. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it, or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. So we see that Ahab wanted to buy some land from Naboth, right? But Naboth, which we're gonna read in a minute, denied him. You know, so like we almost out there. It says, it says, verse 3, Naboth said to Ahab, the Lord forbid me that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee, because it was a law that they wasn't supposed to do that. So like it, brothers and sisters, my dang T-John phone is connected to my dang car. But you see, it was actually a law where it was certain land that only belonged to that person and to his lineage. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, God forbid that I do this thing. Like, nigga, don't you know that's a law? So let's see what Jezebel did. Did what happened. Ahab went to Jezebel complaining and not eating bread, and complaining that basically he wasn't gonna he couldn't have Naboth's land, his vineyard and stuff like that. So he complaining to Jezebel, right? Let's read verse 6. And he said unto her, because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and he said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee. And Jezebel, his wife, said unto him, Dost thou not govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. Bro, so she's saying she gonna take matters into her own head with her little bitty behind. You know what I'm saying? letting a woman run with her emotions. Man, he ain't supposed to be. Watch this. Let's read. She wrote this letter. Watch this. I really don't want to read it out. But verse 9, it says, and she wrote in the letter saying, became a fast and setting a block on high among the people, and said to men of Belial, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme God and the king, and then carry him out and stone him that he may die. Right? So she carrying out with the plan. When Ahab, all he had to do was rebuke her behind. But this is what the Lord said. These other nations gonna turn you away from following him, man. Right? So now she trying to get people to stone him with stones that he die. Right? Verse 14. Well, verse 13. It says, and there came 2 men children of Belial, and sat before him, and the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth in the presence of the people, saying Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died. Then they said to Jezebel, saying Naboth is stoned and is dead, man. So she done got this man killed, man. Verse 15, it says, and it came to pass when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money, for Naboth is not alive but dead, man. So now that these things have took place, let's see what Ahab did. It says, and it came to pass, verse 16, and it came to pass when Ahab heard Naboth was dead, that Ahab arose to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to take the possession of it. So that literally it's literally telling you this Negro just basically stole this land, bro. What was another one of the things? Theft. What was another one of the attributes? Like my phone. Shalak. But instead of rebuking her behind and saying, let's look at another example. Let's look at what King David did. Let's go to the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 1, and verse 13, when the dude lied and said that he took up his sword and killed King Saul, right? The book of 2 Samuel chapter 1 and verse 13. And David said unto the young man that told him, whence art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger and Amalekite. And David said unto him, how was thou not afraid to stretch forth thy hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? And David called one of the young men and said, go near and fall upon him, and he smote him that he died, man. Why didn't he take upon the actions that King David took, man? But since he didn't, let's go to book of 1 Kings chapter 21 and verse 17. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whether he is gone down to possess it. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, thus saith the Lord, In the place where dogs lick the blood on the bot, shall dogs lick thy blood, even thine, man. So the Lord's now prophesying the death of Ahab, man. But the Lord, when you read all the way through, you see more and more how the Lord had mercy on King Ahab in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 22, in verse 30, in verse 33. And he said, hey, I'm not gonna allow this to happen just yet. But eventually it did happen, right? I mean, what was it? So basically, when he went, that was in 1 Kings chapter 20, I believe. Because they went to war. Hold on. Yeah, that was in 1 Kings chapter 20. Well, the Lord already had mercy on them, but now you done let this woman kill Naboth, which is your brethren, right? The Lord done killed Naboth, which is your brethren, and now, I mean, not the Lord, but Jezebel done killed Naboth, which is your brethren, and you not doing nothing about it? Come on, man. So now he done prophesied the death. Now he done prophesied the death of King Ahab, right? So when you read down, let's see, verse 33. Verse 33. And it came to pass when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel that had turned back from pursuing, and a certain man drew a bow at a venture and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Wherefore he said unto the driver of his chariot, turn thy hand and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. And the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians, and died at even. And the blood ran out of his wound into the midst of the chariot, right? And there went a proclamation throughout the host about the going down of the sun, saying, every man to his city, and every man to his own country. So the king died and was buried to Samaria, and was brought to Samaria, and they carried the king in Samaria. And one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood, and they washed his armor according to the word of the Lord which he spake. Now I'm gonna tell you, the Lord is not slack concerning his judgments, man. This is prophecy. This is prophecy that literally was fulfilled by the hands of the prophets, man. Because really, before that, if you want to be honest, Micaiah, he was hating on Micaiah because Micaiah never prophesied good about King Ahab, right? In verse 8. But when you read down in 1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 19, it says, he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up to fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. So now we see the Lord having a council to set King Ahab up, right? It says, and there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do even so. Because Jehoshaphat, he was trying to get some righteous, because back then they was called seers. He wanted some righteous prophecy. So the righteous prophecy was coming from Micaiah. exactly what was going to happen. But this is literally going into the book of what? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 31. How that the Lord is literally taking vengeance for brothers and sisters acting on the behalf of this idolatry. Bringing forth, and I'm going to tell you, all these attributes of idolatry in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, these are spirits, man. These are spirits. You ever heard of that saying, knock on wood? That saying, knock on wood? Bro, they tell you that actually conjures up a spirit. That birthday parties, all these other types of stuff, all these things conjure up spirits, man. And y'all brothers and sisters got to be, careful for these things, man. And with that, we're going to say shalom, man. All praise to the Most High. For brothers and sisters tuning in, all praise to the Most High for the allowance of this class. Hopefully it was edifying to brothers and sisters to understand that these, these classes that I'm going to start trying to come out with is going to be over the law, statutes, and commandments, man. And hopefully the attributes of idolatry might catch some brothers and sisters' eye and, help us get back on our right track, because most definitely it's helping me. You know what I'm saying? Most High God helping me. You know what I'm saying? We got to give our honor, glory, and praise to the Most High. But appreciate y'all brothers and sisters for the cash apps and the GoFundMe to help keep the lights on in the building. And you know what I'm saying? All those things is going into the building of the nation, man. All those things, man. And we're going to get the law for the day, which is Exodus, of course. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. Right? Well, Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3. Well, we can start at verse 2. The book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, or any likeness of it, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, man. So let's try not to, set all these idols or all these things, anything that we do out here in this world. Let's try not to put some of our hobbies over the Most High God, man. Because the first thing we need to start thinking about is the attributes that come from it, and examining ourselves, seeing if we have certain of those attributes, man. And with that, we say, call y'all Shabala. Hope brothers and sisters have a good week, man. Rest of the week, man. Y'all tune into these classes that's coming up. Believe Ehud is next. Then, you got Roger Talk and Donovan. Then, we got the Sabbath class. Then Sunday class, Captain Benaniyah. Monday class, Jerubbaal. Tuesday class, Captain Yari. Wednesday class, Barakah. Then, you got my brother, Uriah. You know what I'm saying? We alternating, what's the name? So we need to start, I'm going to talk up with him about that too. We need to start making our classes together, you know what I'm saying? Being together when we start doing our classes and stuff like this. So, y'all brothers and sisters, y'all tune in, and hope y'all have a blessed evening. Shalom.